Joining me now is Dr. Natalie Azar, MSNBC medical contributor. Doctor, always good to have you. We'll play some of the images from over the weekend in case you guys out there missed it. Just huge crowds gathering in Miami Beach to the point where the city had to say, get the heck out of here, and get the police to come in and disperse them. Very few masks, pretty much no masks. What should we expect to result from this?
Well, watching this, here are the impressions that I have. We talk a lot about, the race between the vaccines and the variants and who's going to win, who's going to end up at the finish line first. And it's behavior like this that is going to give the variants an edge. So this concerns us a great deal. Again, remember, these young adults are not likely themselves to necessarily get very sick from COVID-19, but they are certainly going to pass it. And the other thing that from Carrie's piece that just resonates so much is this extreme, this pendulum swinging from completely shut down to completely open, as opposed to a much more measured response in terms of restrictions and behavior, Katie.
Okay, let's talk about AstraZeneca. So it might file for emergency use authorization here. We have a lot of doses of the J&J vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, enough to inoculate the entire population. Do we need AstraZeneca in this country?
So the short answer is yes. I would say that it's always better to have too much in the supply than not enough. But I think it's very important to emphasize that not only is it welcome news in terms of the U.S. arm of the fight against the pandemic, but it's also very reassuring that the U.S. data supports the safety and the efficacy of this vaccine as it has been used in multiple other countries and supports the data from those areas as well. So I think that's something, Katie, that I like to, communicate a few times, is that it's not just about making sure that Americans are vaccinated. None of us will be completely free from this pandemic until there is a global effort and vaccine available that is safe and effective.
That is a very good point. I'm sure you have conversations like this. I've got friends, I've got loved ones who say, I don't want that vaccine, I want this vaccine. I want the Pfizer, I want the Moderna. I don't want J&J because it's not as effective. And there are a lot of people who saw what happened in Europe and knew that AstraZeneca was taking a long time to get here, who will say, hey, I don't want that vaccine at all. How do you overcome the preconceived notions?
So I think you really do it with facts, Katie. And to those concerns, I would say the following. The efficacy number for symptomatic disease at 79% is great. The 100% efficacy against critical disease is absolutely fantastic. It was also shown to be efficacious comparably among or as a function of age as well as ethnicity, and also in individuals who had underlying comorbidities that could make COVID-19 worse for them. In terms of the concern about the blood clot issue, so there was the independent data safety monitoring board that did not flag any concerns for the U.S. arm of the trial. I think it's very important to reiterate, however, that before an authorization is granted here in the U.S. and before the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices makes its recommendations, there will be a very, very rigorous process to make sure that there are no concerning red flags or side effects like the thrombotic events that were reported from Europe last week. And I should note that the European medical and regulatory agencies have analyzed their data and feel very confident that the benefits far outweigh the risk, and there does not appear to be an increased risk of blood clots, Katie.
It's so important to get the messaging right.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.